G'day. It's time to down your unders. Review and dissection of content from some of the sharpest minds in the game. Hosted by Adam Camilleri. Art of War. Down Under.
G'day everyone and welcome back to another episode of Art of War Down Under, this being episode 246. This is an exciting one for myself and for many of the lovers of the big spiky stompies, as I like to call the Chaos Knights, because we are reviewing the Chaos Knight Codex. I've got to preface this that I have waited as long as I can before doing this review in the hopes of receiving points for this army, because of course this is an army, and as we go through this you will see this is an army that is almost entirely dependent on points to judge the true value of things. Myself and my guest are going to do our best to give you our impressions and give you our opinions. Like, if this costs around about this, it's going to be very good. If this costs around about that, maybe not, or less so, etc., etc. We're going to be doing our best. But like I said, I have waited until the absolute last moment to record this in the hopes of having the full MFM for the Chaos Knights available, just to have full context. Because after going through this codex, it was identified that this thing is either going to be completely bonkers amazing if the points go a certain way, or rather lackluster if the points stay around where they are now. But to that end, I'm joined by a man who stated and asserted he was going to be doing this review to me. He didn't even give me the choice. He's like, Adam, I don't care. I don't care what big shots. I don't care what professional 40K nonsense you've got, lined up. Me, Dick Van Der Harst, is who's going to be doing this review with me. Hello, sir. Welcome to the show.
To be here. I'm very happy. Very happy that I didn't give you any choice.
No, dude, it's actually, I prefer it. Because usually I have to message like 4 or 5 people, and then, some people will say yes, but then I have to take the person who's going to have the best lineup on the wonky ass time schedule that I have to record on. And so, some people get disappointed, some people get and then, yeah, so when someone just says, yo, I want to do this, I'm like, sweet, let's roll, baby. But dude, you've had a chance to have a look at the Chaos Knights Codex now, and you've had a chance to disseminate all of it. What's your first impressions? What's your hot takes?
I am primarily a Wargog player, so I really like Wardogs, but most people really like big stompy robots. And sadly, I'm of the opinion that small robots are still the best.
So they have really tried to push big knights with rules, detachments, enhancements, stratagems, all those kind of things, without really making their data sheet any better. In a lot of ways, the big knight data sheets have stayed exactly the same, but the rules are really good. So if the points are right, big knights are great. But if the points are the same, it doesn't matter. Is that safe to say?
Yeah, that is definitely the way I see it. Yeah, they need a point drop. And also, we'll see the knights have become a little less survivable. So it's actually warranted that they get a drop.
Absolutely. All right. Of course, this is going to be a 2-part podcast. Come over and join us on Patreon, Art of War Down Under, to grab the part 2 with myself and Dick. We're going to be answering Patreon questions, talking about our first press lists and what we think got better and got worse for Chaos Knights going into this brand new meta, of course, post-Slate, post-MFM, and all the rest. But we're going to be starting this review on page 67 for anyone following along in post. And this is the new army rule. Now, I can TLDR this army rule down pretty quickly. It is a couple of paragraphs, but I can explain it quite quickly. You have one ability that is active for you the entire game. That one being a 9-inch aura of -1 leadership. That's going to be active on every single knight for the entire game. You then have 6 other abilities that can become active. And on turn 1, turn 3, and turn 5, you can either choose one of the 6 or roll for 2 on each of those turns. That's 1, 3, and 5. And then you will have those in addition to that one cumulatively for the rest of the game. There is a bit of nuance here in when you choose to pick, when you choose to roll. But I've thrown it over to Dickie to read out what those ones are, and then we will unpack them.
Cool. Well, the first one is Despair. If you roll a 1, while an enemy unit is within 9 inches of this model, worsen the leadership leadership of this model by 1. This does stack with the Deadly Terror, which you always have.
Yep.
I quite like it actually. It's pretty good.
Yeah, having two, like having -2, right? As long as there's enough ways to trigger battle shocks, it's actually kind of wild. You just have a 2/3 chance to battle shock a Custodes unit now.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. Okay, second one is Doom. Each time this model makes an attack, if the target of that attack is battle shocked, add 1 to the wound roll. It's what we have now. It can be good, but you can never bank on it.
Correct.
Third one, Darkness. Each time an attack is made against this model, if the attacking unit is battle shocked or more than 18 inches away, subtract 1 from the hit roll. This is huge.
Yes.
This means you can be more less cautious with your knights when you set them up turn 1. And also, if people are battle shocked, they will hit you with -1 in combat as well, which it's very good because combat is where you die. Fourth one is Dismay. It's an aura. Basically, enemy units take a battle shock test if they are below starting strength within 9 inches of you. So what they've got now. Yep. Fifth one is Delirium. Every time a unit that is below half strength and within 9 inches of this model and they fail a battle shock test, they suffer D3 mortal wounds.
Yeah.
I liked it when I first read it because I just completely forgot the first half of what I just read, and everything that fails a battle shock test and taking mortals that can stack up. Like currently, one of the tricks with Chaos Knights is you can just run up a knight in an enemy army, and blink off 1 wound of everything or of as many units, and then take a lot of battle shock tests. But the prerequisite that you have to be below half strength really makes this not very good.
Agreed.
Okay, and then the sixth one, add 3 inches to the range of this model's aura abilities. That's actually pretty great.
It is pretty great. As you'll notice when we go through the book, all the previous 12-inch auras are now 9-inch auras, and that's the way to get them all back to 12. Because of course, I do think that everything going from 12-inch auras to 15-inch auras would have been, they may have seen that as a bit much. I don't think that would have been too much, but here we are. As far as that table goes, that of course you always start with the -1, then the 1 through 6. What do you see as the winners there? What's the really good stuff?
Well, yeah, as we said before, I really like the -1 to hit one. That's really good. I think I would pick that always turn 1. Then I would probably either take the extra -1 to hit. Not the extra one, the extra -1 on your leadership.
Yep.
Or the one where you have to take battle shocks if you're below starting strength.
Yeah. So there's a lot of different schools of thought, even already with the few people I've been able to talk to this, like, some of the other boys on the NDAs and such. And we're already of the opinion that, okay, so let's say you're playing Imperial Knights and you're playing against Guard, Tau, Votan, guys that have good gun. You just automatically pick Darkness, the -1, if they're outside 18 inches. And then essentially your army just has stealth outside 18, and then anything battle shocked is -1 to hit as well. And so that automatically gives you a durability bonus to get you through the first couple of turns of the game. And then if they're like melee or a tweener or don't have significant like knight threatening guns, like they're not threatening to kill like 3 or more knights a turn, baby knights a turn or anything, you just roll pretty much every turn of the game. The only downside is you don't get to re-roll any of these. If you roll duplicates, too bad, so sad. Like if you roll turn 1 and then you roll, like, so let's say you roll turn 1, you roll a 1 and a 2, and then on turn 3 you roll and you roll a 1 and a 2, too freaking bad. You don't get to re-roll, you don't get to anything else. So it's almost like you want to roll turn 1, pick turn 3 for one that you think will come up, and then who cares on turn 5? The game's probably over anyway. It doesn't really matter. And that's kind of annoying. Do you find that annoying? Like the turn 5 one is kind of like there's no point to it. Doesn't really do anything. Doesn't really have a chance to.
Yeah, for sure. Like these abilities are good, but honestly, if you'd given them all turn 1 or 2, it probably would have been like only slightly better. Like it's good, but it's not game breaking. The one on turn 5 really doesn't do anything. Like, okay, it might come up like once in your tournament where you got it in the right order and it flipped something, otherwise it wouldn't have. But it's not something you can bank on. And the fact that you cannot reroll duplicates is just stupid. I'm sorry.
It's really, really stupid. I believe it's just dumb.
Yeah.
And it's pointless. This isn't powerful enough that having every one of these available from turn 4 onwards would be all that. Oath of Moment is better than all of these combined. Still,
for sure.
It's not even close. Like this is, as far as I can tell, I still think we have a pretty dang mediocre army rule. Unfortunately.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, go. Yeah.
Yeah. No. What I was going to say is that what I would do is I would make this turn 1, turn 3, and turn 4, not turn 5.
Same here.
And I would let them re-roll duplicates once.
Yeah. Yep.
That would make it
like
better
as well.
Because I will never roll. I will always pick.
I like, unless I'm playing like guard and I need the -1 to hit, I'm probably rolling turn 1 and then picking, because then I can't roll duplicates. So yeah, I guess that's the best way I can think of doing it. Unless I really need the -1, I'll probably roll turn 1, then pick 3 and 5. But yeah, it's not great. No. All right, Dreadblades and Super Heavy Walker are both here still and are unchanged for anyone wondering at home. So still going through walls more than 4 inches in height and risking the battle shock, and move within engager range, yada yada, all that goodness. And you can still be taken by chaos keyword stuff. They can take 1 Titanic or up to 3 Wargog models, even if they don't have the faction keyword. None of these can be your warlord and cannot be given in any enhancements. Yep. So starting with the first of the 4 detachments, of course, this is Traitorous Lance, which has been reskinned somewhat. And I still think it's quite good. Still worth considering. Paragons of Terror is the detachment rule, because, of course, that had to change because the army rule changed. At the start of the first battle round, after selecting 1 or more dread abilities to be active for your army, you can select 1 additional dread ability to be active from your army. This additional dread ability cannot be randomly selected. So essentially, you'll have 3 starting on. You'll have technically 4 active on turn 1, because, of course, you start with the -1. Leadership in 9 inches, and then you will always roll 2 dice and then pick the one you didn't get. Essentially, So it's not bad, is it? Because you'll always start with a decent amount of the good ones.
Yeah, no, it's pretty good.
I'm going to quickly TLDR our way through the enhancements, and do feel free to do the same for the strats when we get there. So 2 of the enhancements are exactly the same as previous. The first one being fight phase, everything within engagement range has to take a battle shock. The other one being sticky objectives is still here, which is fantastic. And of course, they will give out your dread aura as well with the objectives that you stickied. The next one is Malevolent Heraldry. Each time you roll a dice to randomly select which dread abilities are active for your army, if the bearer is on the battlefield, you can re-roll 1 or both of those results. And as far as I can tell, that's this detachment and that enhancement are the only ways to manipulate that roll in the entire book.
Yep, it's huge loss, huge waste.
Yeah, it is. And then last one is Veil of Medringard, which I think is quite good. The bearer has a 4+ invulnerable save against range attacks and a 5+ invulnerable save against melee attacks. And I think if you're taking this detachment, that one's an auto include.
For sure. Also the sticky, of course.
I was about to say, that and the sticky are the 2 that I reckon just windmill slam into your Traitorous Lance. Tell us about the stratagems. 4 of them are the same, but there's 2 that are completely different, completely new now, yeah?
Yes. There's one where you basically get, it's Conquerors Without Mercy. You basically improve your AP of melee weapons, which is quite nice.
Yep.
And also, if you destroy an enemy model, an enemy unit, then each enemy unit within 6 have to take a battle shock test, which is actually good enough.
Yeah. So it's 1 CP, 5 phase, 1 Chaos Knight unit from army that made a charge. And then, you pop a unit and you just make everything within the zip code take a battle shock, which has to be at -1 at least, which I think this is an excellent stratagem.
Yeah, I agree. Although, no, wait, now that I think about it, it's... it specifies just fight phase. I was just going to say, if it's just your own fight phase, then it wouldn't really do much.
But you have to have made a charge move.
Doesn't heroic intervention count as a charge move?
You know what? I've heard it go both ways. My inclination is Blood Crushers get their mortals on a heroic intervention, right?
Exactly.
So I'm of the opinion that yes, you would.
I would be as well.
Yeah, I would assume that's a yes. But you check with your TOs, and I'm sure an FAQ will be coming to double check and make sure that one. What's the other one that's brand new?
It's Storm of Darkness. Your opponent's shooting phase. Just after they have selected its target, one Chaos Knight unit that was selected, they get stealth and have the benefit of cover.
Not bad. Now, where I like that one a lot is like turn one, you're playing against like 6 Rogel Dawn, bastard guard, and you can't hide your Knight Tyrant because there's just not enough real estate to hide it. You can just kind of stick it out, let it get cover, take Darkness as your army ability, so it's -1 to hit, and then make it -2 and have cover. So they'll hit you on 5s, baby.
Yep. Yeah,
Even
that's a
with
good
their
one
order.
to specify. So this stacks with the -1
Yeah.
in the dread ability.
Well, it'll only stack if they have +1, right? Yeah?
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah. Apart from that, we still have Go Through Walls, which is worded exactly the same. Still has a long leech to give out your aura abilities, like it's a bondsman ability. You got to pay 1 CP for the privilege. Pterrorshades is still here in the same mode, and Disdain for the Weak is still here with that 6 up Feel No Pain or 5 up against battle shocked units, which I do not mind. So this is what I like about Conquers Without Mercy, right? So if you charge in, like let's say with a Rampager, kill a unit, and then battle shock, you can battle shock stuff that's going to hit you back, right? And then you can activate things like Disdain for the Weak. You can activate things like all these bits and pieces, turn off their stratagems, et cetera, et cetera. So I quite like that. Or turn off turn off counteroffensive, interrupt.
Yeah. That is true. I also like it. It's just it's always a bit weird spending points for something that might happen, or points resources.
So how do you feel about the total Traitorous Lance kind of upskinned package?
Yeah, it's good. I mean, like the most important thing is they still can walk through walls. That's all you want. Yeah. That's what you're going to do every time. And something what's very important is that there's no more Ion Bulwark. So no more 4+ invul against shooting.
Yep. Exactly right. In fact, the only way to get it in this attachment is to take the enhancement. So there is that.
Good.
All right, next detachment, Infernal Lance. This has the Malefic Surge ability, which is very similar to Pacts for Chaos Space Marines. But in your command phase, 1 or more Chaos Knight units from your army can make a Malefic Surge. Each one that does so must first take a leadership test. If that test is failed, they suffer D3 mortal wounds. Then until the start of your next command phase, that unit is empowered. While a unit is empowered, it can use one of the Malefic Surge abilities listed below. Once that unit has made the Surge ability, has used the Surge ability, it is no longer empowered. So, first one is Unholy Hunger. When a model in this unit makes a normal advance or fall back move until the end of the phase, add 3 to its move characteristic.
So much.
It's pretty big. The next one is essentially pick sus or lethals, shoot or fight, so you'll get double duty. Although once you've used it in the shooting phase, I think you become unempowered. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. So
on your reading on it,
yeah, you can't do it in both times in the same turn.
So important to know. And then last one is Unholy Fortitude. When this unit is selected as the target of an attack until the end of the phase, models in this unit have a 5+ invulnerable save and a 6 up Feel No Pain, which outside of this strat we talked about previously in Traitorous Lance, I think this is the only other way to get a Feel No Pain in this book.
Yeah, that's the only way to get no, not the only way, but one of the ways to get an invulnerable save in combat.
Yes, it's army wide as well. So how do you feel about this detachment rule? Because when I first read it, I was like, well, this is just great. Because if you don't know, guys, every toughness for Chaos Knights has gone down by 1, but all our Wargog's wounds have gone up by 2, and all the Big Knights wounds have gone up by 4. So the D3 mortal wounds you might take for failing your leadership test kind of peters out. And in addition, is your read of similar abilities like this that you would get the 6 up Feel No Pain against those mortals?
Yes, it would be. Wait, no, because
I don't think it is.
It is in a phase, and if you do it, you will give it up immediately. So, no.
Yeah, fair. So yeah, I do not believe you get the Feel No Pain against them, unfortunately. But there is that. But yeah, what do you feel about this detachment?
Yeah, I kind of like it. It's weird. It's counterintuitive because you're actually giving up assets to get bonuses. but it's what it will enable you to do is set up that perfect turn. Like these are not conditional; they will always go off, which means that if you need it, you will get that 3-inch advance. If you need it, you get those lethal hits, and it's army wide, and that's so big. And also, you can change it out a bit. So maybe your brigand needs to move 3 inches more, and the other brigand is already in a good position. Now, the one can get the sustained, and the other one can get the extra movement.
Yep.
So that's really good. Also, I think this is one of the ways in which the better CK players will leverage this rule probably a bit better than other players, because you don't go ham with this straight away.
First of the enhancements, Knight Diabolus. Improve the weapon skill characteristic of the bearer's melee weapons by 1, and while the bearer is using the Diabolic Power ability, which is the sustained or lethals, the melee weapons will also have Lance. So +1 weapon skill and Lance. Now, naturally, this isn't amazing on a Rampager that already hits on 2s, but giving a Rampager Lance still might be worth it, especially when it's going to be going in with most likely lethal hits, because it already has sustained hits now. So there is that. How do you feel about this one, brother?
Yeah, it's great. It's great. It's also good for the knights who don't see any play at this moment. So the spoiler melee, the spoiler, or half shooty, half melee, will have a lot of use for this. It's probably going to be expensive though.
Yeah, so the one I would love this to be takeable on, and we're gonna have to wait and see what happens to the Forge World Chaos Knights, but I'd love this on like a Castigator or a Atropos. I'd love this on an Atropos. So it just hits on 2s all the time, gets Lance and sustained hits 1, and will have lethal hits because you have to be doing the Diabolic Power. So you're gonna have freaking Lance, lethal, sustained, hitting on 2s. Oh, beautiful thing.
Yep, all the keywords.
What's the next one?
The next one is Blasphemous Engine. Add 2 to the bearer's wounds, total number of wounds, and each time it makes a malefic surge, you can reroll the leadership test to see if you suffer any mortal wounds. So it's good enough.
Yeah,
if it's cheap, I'll take it.
Yeah, if it's 10 or less points, you might see it. Next one is Flesh Metal Fusion. Add 1 to the bearer's toughness characteristic, and while the bearer is using the unnatural fortitude ability, each time an attack with the damage characteristic of 1 is allocated to the bearer, add 1 to any armor saving throws made for that attack. So this is the way to get back to toughness 13 on a tyrant. In addition to having, you'll have a 6-up feel no pain because you'll have a natural fortitude and the 5-up in combat, and then +1 save. You'll have essentially AOC versus damage 1. How do you feel about this one?
It's also good, but always keep in mind that it's 10th edition, so if somebody wants your stuff to be dead, it will be dead. So it's just...
Yeah, that's why I said I think only the toughness 13 going from 12 to 13 is a big enough break point for me to think this is warranted, I guess. If that makes sense?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. All right, last one.
All right. The bearer's ranged weapons have the assault ability, and while the bearer is using the unholy hunger ability, so the one that makes you move 3 inches more, it can ignore any or all modifiers to his movement and to advance rolls. So that's also very good. Yep.
It was good enough just at advance. It was good enough, right? Just an assault. It was good enough. Yeah.
Yeah, we were talking about this earlier, and I poo-pooed it a little bit, but then you went off about the spoiler with double guns, just zooming around the battlefield, and I was like, yeah, this is very good. Yep.
Yeah, well, it's going 13 plus D6 so it's going up to 19 inches with like double Gatling, double thermal, like trying to get pushed into that thermal range and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think through walls.
Yeah, going through walls, pretty attractive, I think. As for that, what do you see as the other, hot takes of the enhancements here, which are really good ones?
I would. It all depends on points on this one. I would say, like, I would always take the last one. I would probably not take the one before, so with the +1 toughness.
Nah. Yeah. All right, jumping into the stratagems, the first of which is Profane Symbiosis for 1 CP, which is at the end of any phase. 1 Chaos Knights unit from your army that is not empowered. Unit makes a Malefic Surge. You cannot select the same unit as the target of the stratagem more than once per battle round. So, of course, when you go in and expend, so let's say you've got a carnivore, trying to get in contact with something, so you Malefic Surge for the +3 move, and then at the end of the charge phase, now that you know you've made your charge, you Malefic Surge for sustained or lethal, or for the invuln or the field no pain. Is that how that works?
I think so. Yeah.
Beautiful.
This is very good for the for stalkers and half melee, half shooting knights, because then you can do it in both turns. Both activations.
Yep. So you can go and get the movement, and then surge at the end of the movement phase after you've moved for a shooting buff. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah. Fantastic. What's the next one?
Next one is Hellforce Construction. The fight phase, just after an enemy unit has selected its targets. One Chaos Knight unit from your army that was selected as the target until the end of the phase. It's AOC.
It is AOC, baby.
Yeah. And just be aware that it says until the end of the phase here, but I think the FAQ supersedes this, so it's only for one activation.
Absolutely correct. All right, next up, Corrupting Taint for 1 CP. Your command phase, just after a Chaos Knight's character unit from your army makes a Malefic Surge. That Chaos Knight character unit. Select one objective marker your unit is within range of that you control. You stick it. 1 CP, you have to surge, but if you make a surge, you just stick the objective. And you're doing it on a character who has far less chance of failing the leadership test and taking mortals for your trouble anyway. So I do quite like this.
Yeah, I love it. The taint is corrupted, and it's great. Yeah. All right. Next one is Unleash Balefire. In your shooting phase, after a unit is shot, select one enemy unit hit by one or more of those attacks. That enemy unit must take a battle shock test. If the test is failed until the end of your opponent's next turn, it is a flame. While a unit is a flame, subtract 2 from its movement and subtract 2 from charge rolls made for it. This is situational, but situationally very, very good.
Well, my first instinct was, so if I just pop someone with a Havoc launcher on the other side of the table, it makes me. It's just a 1 CP battle shock as long as I hit them, and then if they fail the battle shock, they're also significantly slowed. So I think it's actually pretty good.
Yeah, I agree. I would probably not use it for something like that though, because you would want to stack on the leadership debuffs. So you would only do it on something that is within 12 of a Chaos Knight. But like we all know, like movement is king. So movement is the only thing that's guaranteed to go off in every game. So if you can impact that in some way or form, it's great.
Well, yeah, consider this: like you have a carnivore within 9 inches, of a unit of Deathwing Knights. It's just gone and killed something and flipped a expansion objective, but that unit of Deathwing Knights is absolutely going to destroy you on the next turn. You just, in knowing your carnivore is going to be in danger in the shooting phase, you try and battle shock that unit of Deathwing Knights. Now they move 3 inches, they're 9 inches away, and they've got an 8-inch charge rather than moving 5 and having a 4-inch charge. And so that kind of stuff, can flip a game pretty much.
Yeah, for sure.
Next one is Warp Vision, 1 CP. It's in your shooting phase. Ignores cover, baby. Doesn't have to be a character. Any Chaos Knight in the shooting phase, ignore freaking cover. Absolutely baller.
I really like it. It's I probably have been spoiled a bit by our previous stratagem suite, is where these kinds of stratagems would usually be the target for 1 big knight or 2 small knights. And I would have loved it if this would have been able to do on 2 knights. But
I 120% agree, dude. But the same despoiler we talked about, instead of it being a double thermal, is now a double Gatling, with +3-inch move assault, go through walls, and now, checks notes 36 shots that could be sustained if you pay a CP for a second surge with ignores cover. That thing pops off.
It also makes a battle cannon good now. So, yeah.
True. Actually, that is very relevant. Yeah. And what's the last one?
I just can't see there's no 6 stratagem. Nobody should know about the stratagem. Nobody should use it. It is something. If you spend your CP on the stratagem, you will always regret it. So let's just not talk about it.
Yeah, it's bulwark. It's the 4+ invulnerable save 1 CV.
Never use it, people.
Don't do it unless it is going to win you the game. Don't do it.
Yeah. Even then, A reroll is probably better.
That's what I always. Well, I only do it if I have a reroll as well. If
Yeah,
I have, if I have 2 CP, I will bulwark to try and save the game. To try and get a 5 or 10 point flip. Yeah. All right. Next one is Lords of Dread. Now, this is my favorite detachment. And it is very silly, but this is the one where the big knights are so freaking pushed out the wazoo. So
but
nothing.
It's not even silly. It's not even silly. It's great.
No,
as long as points. If the points are good, this is going to be great.
Correct. If this is a 4 big knight list, I don't think it's very good. If this is a 5 or 6 big knight list, we are cooking, and we are cooking with fire, baby. That is going to be a lot of fun and brutal. But the detachment rule is improve the OC of Chaos Knight character models from your army by 2. In addition, once per battle round, if your warlord is on the battlefield, you can use the Claimed for the Dark God stratagem for 0 CP. And I got to tell you, the Claimed by the Dark God stratagem is possibly one of the best stratagems in the game.
Yep. I think it was on Warhammer Community, right?
It was. You want to just jump in and tell us what that strat is now, so we can give people the full context of the detachment rule?
Yeah, sure. It's basically sticky objectives. You sticky an objective, but you count as always having OC5 on it, which makes it so good.
So 5 scouts cannot take that objective off you. Like
nope.
Little 5 JPIs, 5 mandrakes, they cannot flip these objectives. You can you sticky your home and walk away. But there's one key difference here to every other sticky objective. It's a start of any phase. You can technically, if you have the CP, sticky 5 objectives in a turn.
Oh, yeah, that's great.
Technically, start of the command phase, start of the movement phase, start of the shooting phase, start of the charge phase, start of the fight phase. There's 5 opportunities there. Actually, wild that it's at the start of any phase. And
yeah,
I think
I
think it is so freaking powerful, man. Like
it's great. Yeah, and also the special rule is it just says once per battle round, so it doesn't make you spend it in a phase. So you can just see how the turn goes and then stick yourself.
Correct. Exactly. See how it goes and then decide if you want to sticky things. Yeah, for free or not. I think it's fantastic. I
agree.
All right. And it's going to get even better. So they have 6 enhancements in this. And I got to tell you, these are 6 of the best enhancements in the game. These are up there with...
If they're giving you 6 enhancements, that means that you should be able to take 6 big knights, right? Army.
But you can only take 3 enhancements in a 2K game.
You're quoting the rules at me. Come on.
I know. I wish I could take all freaking 6 for these, dude. I wish. Tell us about the first one.
You can reroll charge rolls made for the bear's unit. In addition, once per battle in your charge phase, the bear can use this. If it does until the end of the phase, the bear is eligible to declare a charge in the turn in which it's advanced. So slap it on the rampager and good to go.
In you go. The next one, Blade of Celerity. The bearer's ranged weapons have assault. In addition, once per battle at the start of the fight phase, the bearer can use this enhancement. If it does, it gets fights first. So powerful, man. I mean, it's a bit of a nombo, like the 2 of those together, because of course you want to slam this on a rampager again, but then once again, I look at the Atropos, who shoots good and fights good and makes beautiful double duty out of the assault and the fights first. And once again, the Atropos, absolute home here.
I agree. Next one. For the people at home, it's in the fight phase, so it's any fight phase. So it's in your opponent's fight phase when it matters the most, of course.
Yep, good distinction.
Yep. Okay, next one is Warpborn Stalker. The bearer has deep strike, and it can go uppy downy, basically.
Yep, so it is Mysterious Guardian from Imperial Knights. They gave it to Chaos Knights as well. And this is very good, for very obvious reasons. Everyone knows what this thing does and how good it is on Knights. But you'll have to wait and see what the price for the damage is. Because, of course, my first thought all of a sudden, immediately, is rapid ingressing a double thermal despoiler, or hilariously, a Valiant kitted Tyrant, and just putting the thermal, putting the harpoon in their teeth on turn 2, just like bang, eat this, and then bouncing it away to do it again on the other side of the board, maybe. Next one is Putrid Carapace. The bearer has a save characteristic of 2+. also already very good. In addition, once per battle at the start of either player's command phase, either player, the bearer can use this enhancement. If it does, it regains D6 lost wounds. And when you rip that 6, and you would have died if you didn't rip that 6 to your opponent's damage, you were going to feel like a king.
Yep.
Do you like it?
Yeah, I like it. Yeah. I mean, I would never bank on ripping the 6, sadly, but I'd really love 2+ saves on any of the knights. And spoiler alert, there are no more 2+ saves on the big knights.
Correct.
So this just improves your survivability against small arms fire immensely.
Agreed. What's the next one? Because the next one is a best in game.
Oh yeah, I almost forgot about this one, Adam. It's so good. Okay, once per battle round, you can target bearer's unit with the command with the reroll stratagem for 0 CP. And can do so even if somebody has already been targeted by that stratagem. So that's good. I mean, sweet, cool. But in addition, this is the money. Once per battle, just after an opponent uses a stratagem, if the bearer is on the battlefield, so anywhere on the battlefield, it can use this enhancement. If it does until the end of the battle, the CP cost of your opponent must pay to use that stratagem is again increased by 1 CP. So it's old fact, and it's the best fact in the whole game.
Yep. So there is an interesting thing to know is whether they are going to apply the balanced data slate change to this one. Seeing as the balanced data slate has changed all of these abilities to be the same as the 12, the Lord of Deceit 12-inch aura of everything costs 1 more, which I still think would be very freaking good to have in knights. Like you just, cool. I have 4 big knights bubbled around this guy. Good freaking luck, the melee army that cannot use CP to kill 4 big knights. Because you were going to bleed out trying to kill these guys CP wise. So I still think it's takeable even if they do, but if they don't and it stays like this, oh my God, is this money?
Yeah, you're probably right. Yeah, you're probably right that it will be changed. Which honestly does make it a little bit worse because I would prefer probably to use more offensive stuff on the melee knights.
Yeah, exactly.
So like if it's as printed here, you would put it on any of the big knights, one of the shooty guys in the back, and you would be very happy. And otherwise, you need to be a melee to have to make the most use out of this.
Agreed. All right, one more, because of course they have 6. This is Blessing of the Dark Master. The bearer has the stealth ability. In addition, once per battle, after you make a saving throw for the bearer, you can 0 the damage. Now, this one is still quite good as well. And when I talked about the fact that you can have double -1 to hit because of darkness being one of the options for the army ability. This can combo up pretty freaking nicely on a Daka Knight, I think.
Yep, for sure. Yeah, it's great.
Now, here's the issue, right? You would take all 6 of these if you could. So, give me your top 3, my man.
I would take Warborn Stalker always.
The uppy downy deep strike, yeah, same here.
Yeah. It's the weird thing is you're probably never really actually deep striking him or really actually uppy downing him, but the fact that you could is what makes it good. So it means that your opponent will have to screen, will have to to work something out. Just the threat of having that makes your life 100%. A lot easier.
Yep.
I will probably take the real charge one and the advance and charge.
Yep. Obviously, obviously a rampager, go uber duber, go kill everybody.
Exactly. Fantastic. A rampager is still very good. It always was good, but it's still good. And this just like the small holes it has, it just gets plugged with this. So and then it's probably either the 2+ save or the Mirror of Fates, and so the defect aura. And it really depends on the way you build your army, I would say. Like if you like the 2+ save, you will always get money out of it, but defect, as we just agreed, is probably going to get changed. So all my enthusiasm of earlier should be a little bit damped to the aura. And then, so if you take more melee knights, then you will take the Mirror Fates. If you take a more balanced or a more shooty knights, then you would take the 2+ save.
Yep. I also want to throw out that the fights first is the one that has to, like, there is no right now there is no knight that shoots well enough to make value of, because we don't know points. There is no knight right now that gets a good return from the assault or the fight, because none of the one gun, one fist knights for Chaos Knights, non-Forge World, are anything. They all suck. It's double gun or double melee or bust, as far as I'm concerned. And so, that one is on the shelf until we see points and what happens with Forge World to me. So I agree with you. It's 100%. You're taking a Rampager that reals charges and advances and charges, because you're just going to get so much respect.
Yeah, you'll take that. Every list will definitely have a Rampager.
Well, so here's the other thing. So I'm of the opinion I will be taking my Rampager is my favorite of the models, my favorite of everything. Wartborn Stalker on the Rampager, and you rapid ingress it, and then it goes 12 through a wall and eats something and just makes your opponent, crap their dax. Pretty good too, but we'll have to wait and see. And 2+ armor save, absolutely freaking fantastic. All right, into the strats, first of which is Claimed for the Dark Gods. It's 1 CP, start of any phase. Of course, we've already read this one. Apologies.
Yep.
I'm a dum-dum. It's the sticky objective one. It's so busted, it's so good. You take the next one.
Spiteful Demise. Just after you use any phase, just after one of your knight's characters get destroyed, you can use it even though the model just was destroyed. We're running to determine whether mortal wounds are inflicted on your enemy units. You get to roll 4+ instead of a 6.
So you go boom boom on a 4+ instead of a 6, and I'm annoyed by this strat.
Yeah, I would only use it if it would be game changing. Like if you would yeet the Rampager into your enemy lines turn 1 and it actually connected and there's like 20 units surrounding it, then I would use it.
Yeah,
otherwise I would
exactly that. Or you're going to take Magnus with you. You're going to Magnus is on 2 wounds left, and you're like, I'm going to take it with me. Yeah, that kind of stuff. But paying a CP to change a 1 in 6 to a 50/50 doesn't feel good.
No, it's like this should have been a 3+ probably, or
2+
CP.
Automatically. Yeah, correct.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right, next up is Runes of Disdain for 2 CP. Your opponent's shooting phase or the 5 phase. You have to have enemy unit selected its targets. It's -1 damage, baby. Hot.
Yep.
Hot.
Very hot.
I'm a little worried that you won't get to use this one, because I'm just of the opinion your CP economy is going to be like sticky everything immediately, and you're never going to get up to like 2 or 3 CP to have the flex for this. But how do you feel?
No, I think you would use this, but it depends on your opponent. Like, there's so many damage 2 armies out there, or even on damage 3, it also makes a big difference. That like you could completely ruin an opponent just by having the stratagem. 2 CP is steep. I would say probably too steep, honestly. But because you do the sticky once per turn for free anyway, I would probably bank to have, like, against certain opponents, to have this in the pile.
It should be noted that like a Tyrant has 28 wounds, a Despoiler has 26, and same to all the other Questoris chassis. So like -1 damage when you have more wounds is actually kind of better than we were at before, despite you probably being wounded more often. When you change someone from wounding on 4s that were damage 2 to wounding on 5s that were damage 2 to now wounding on 4s but they're damage 1, you are so much better off. So much better off. You've doubled your durability against that profile. And I got to say, things like Sangar, Death Company, those kind of things, which are going to come well and truly back into the game now because of their ridiculous freaking buffs, you are going to just laugh at them when you have 2 CP for this.
Yeah. No, I agree. It's what I disagree slightly with is that now you have to expend a lot of resources. Like, 2 CP is a lot of resources
it is.
For something that is marginally better than. I mean, it's actually quite a bit better than just the extra toughness.
Yeah.
But like,
I'm trying here.
I
Dick.
know, I know. I just want to be fair to
Yeah.
any budding Chaos Knight player out there. Like it's probably the -1 toughness hurts, guys. It really does.
Yeah, it does. It does. All right, what's the next one? This is one I do quite like.
Titanic Duel, your shooting phase or the fight phase. It targets one Chaos Knight character that has not been selected to shoot or fight. Select one enemy monster or vehicle unit until the end of the phase. Each time a model in your unit makes an attack that targets that enemy, reroll a hit roll of 1 and reroll a wound roll of 1.
Spice. Hot.
Yep. And if the enemy unit is Titanic, you can get to reroll. Just get full rerolls. This is amazing because you will only have 4 to 6 models in your entire army. Using this means that you will get the most out of it, and it's it's amazing. Yeah.
Exponential. So first one that came to mind was like a double thermal despoiler, having one reroll, one natural reroll to hit or wound, and then having reroll once to hit and wound, and like trying to kill a Dawn, which you'll hit it on 3s with one reroll of a 2 and rerolling all the 1s, and then wounding it on 4s, rerolling the 1s, and rerolling 1/1, and you just got dang good odds to kill that now. And I think it's really cool. I think it's a very good strat.
I agree.
All right.
I agree.
Next up is Trophy Hunter. It's just a 6-inch it's just a +3 consolidate, with the condition that you must make contact with another enemy unit. Must make engagement range with another enemy unit. It's 1 CP. It's a fight phase just after just before a Chaos Knight's character consolidates, and +3.
Yeah, this is also better than you would think because you only have 4 to 6 models.
100%.
This will enable you to reach that objective, which you otherwise wouldn't have, and just improve your odds dramatically. So this is one of those things. If you read it at first, you're like, okay, it's good, but whatever. But this can win you a game.
So wait a second. Wait a second.
Yep.
Is the Battle Shock phase a phase? Is there a Battle Shock phase to our game? Is that like a distinct enshrined phase?
No.
Didn't think so. I thought it was like a sub phase. Because I was going to say, could you consolidate and then at the end of the start of the next phase, just actually, sorry, it's stickies at the stickies at the start of the phase. But what this is great for is for drawing things into Battle Shock range.
Yeah, and
drawing things into your auras and just expanding and 6-inch slingshotting further into your opponent's lines, make them take a bunch of battle shocks and stuff like that.
Yep, I agree.
Last one.
Okay, crush like vermin. Your movement phase just after an enemy, just after a Chaos Knight character unit ends a normal move. Select one enemy unit, excluding monsters and vehicles, that your unit moved over during that move, and roll d6. For every 4+, that enemy unit suffers 1 mortal wound. If 1 or more models have been destroyed as a result of the stratagem, that enemy unit must take a battle shock test.
I like this one a lot.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Out of phase mortals or out of fighting phase mortals is great. It's only 1 CP, which is also decent. This is very good.
It's the only way in this detachment to trigger a battle shock on demand as well.
Oh, good point.
Yeah, so very necessary, very, very necessary for setting up your big combo turns and stuff like that. Like, battle shocking them when you move over them. And now, if they're battle shocked, so they can't heroic or they can't interrupt or they can't, fights first for a strat or anything like that. I think it's very important to have this when you have big knights and you want to stop, unexpected things like reactive moves and all sorts of other nonsense. So, yeah, very important. And when you couple that with so here's the thing, this strat makes me like an abominant, which is the first time I've ever said these words as a living human being, because when you add up the pulse mortals, so 3+, any unit within 9 takes D3 mortals, the walkover grenade that this is, and a tank shock, and the fact it does dev wounds with its shooting, you actually have good odds to just like chip down heavy duty stuff with that guy now. Yeah, you just like spontaneously do 15 mortal wounds that turn, and you're just like, okay, that's a thing.
or 1, Adam, or 1.
Or 1. Okay, yes, correct, or 1. But hey, if you can 1 CP grenade, miss the 3 up to do D3, and do 1 on the 1 mortal on the tank shock, pack up, go home. You've done enough for the day. Go back to bed. Start again tomorrow.
I will regale you with the tales of my tank shocks on a later time.
Dude, yeah. So that's the end of the Lords of Dread. And I got to say, this is my favorite detachment, but once again, all predicated on points. If the points stay where they are now, this detachment is pretty much dead on arrival. If the points on the big knights go down significantly, this thing is cooking, very exciting, and extremely fun.
I agree. One thing to keep in mind is that we're quite hyped about the stratagems. The stratagems are quite good, and they're extra important because of your low model count army.
Correct.
But there's no way to get more CP in this army.
No.
So you really have to map out what you will use all your stratagems on, your CP on, for every turn, or probably turns in advance. Because one of these stratagems could win you a game, but you have to use it at the exact right time.
Yeah, so this is actually the kind of army, in my opinion, and this is going to sound wild, and I'll actually, no, you know what? I'm going to save it for part two. I got some ideas. But going into the last of the detachments, and this is the detachment I expect everyone who's playing Chaos Knights right now to gravitate to naturally. This is the Hard Pack Lance. So for those who didn't know, every Wargog lost battle line in this army.
Boo.
And I know, boo. So there is zero battle line in this army on face value unless you take this detachment. This detachment will give you back battle line to your war dogs. The detachment rule is straight up Oath of Moment, but instead of getting rerolls, you get sustained against that target. So you just pick a target, whole army gets sustained against that target until your next command phase. It is quite good. Like undebatably, it is actually quite good.
Yes.
And then the keywords: your army must include 3 or more war dogs. If you took this detachment and didn't, I have significant questions for you. Also, it's illegal. Wardog units from your army get battle line, and when mustering your army, select 3 Wardog units from your army until the end of the battle. Those units have the character keyword. I wish it was select up to 3 Wardogs.
Same,
because I don't want to give 3 of them. If I don't like character, unless I have three enhancements I'm willing to give, and I only have 2 enhancements. I only have 2 enhancements that I like in this. So the fact is, you can have 3 opportunities to give up assassination when one of them is kind of unnecessary, or possibly 2 of them are unnecessary.
Yeah.
How do you feel about this? Yeah, go.
This is a good point. Something we forgot about to mention in the previous detachment, the Lord of Dread one. If you take that one and you take all the big knights, your opponents will all take bring it down and assassinate every time.
Well, they can't anymore, which is great. Sorry, no, they can. They absolutely can. Sorry, let's bring it down to no prisoners lost fixed. Everyone will. And you know what? You're playing. You're in the pigsty. You're going to get a little dirty. You know why you're there. It's okay. Okay. You can cop it.
Yeah, no, but I completely agree with the War Dogs. I would maybe take 2 character War Dogs if I could, and 3 is probably too many. But yeah, like the good thing is that you can put it on one of the good knights now, so you don't have to take a stalker, even though you probably want to. So it gives you more freedom, which is kind of nice.
Yeah, correct. Tell us about the first 3 enhancements.
Yeah, the first one is Prey Slayer's Mantle. It's a weird title. The bearer gets the super heavy walker ability, which basically means they can walk through walls in the movement phase,
and over models as well.
And over models, yeah. So this gives you a lot of extra mobility. Great on a carnivore. You will probably take this. I mean, no, you will definitely take this on a carnivore
100%.
every
100% you're taking this and you're taking it on a carnivore. It's just too good. The next one is the other one that I consider to be close to an auto include. This is Final Howl. It's a 6-inch aura from a war dog, giving other war dogs reroll 1s to wound, shooting and combat.
So good.
Fantastic. And of course, this is the one where, of course, you have the ability to give +3 to your aura abilities, so you can make this a 9-inch aura off your 60 mil. Your 80 mil, whatever it is, base, and you can just you can get a lot of brigands in that aura, baby. You can get a lot of brigands in there. So I like that a lot. I think those first 2 are fantastic. But tell us about the next one.
Yeah, third one is Loping Predator. The bear gets bear's range weapons have the assault ability, so it's good.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
if it's 5 points, I might take it, and
Yeah,
if
if
it's
it's
not, I will not.
if it's super cheap and you got the points at the end, that's the one you take. The last one is Panoply of the Cursed Knight, and it is perma AOC, which now that we know about the durability nerfs with the toughness, I don't think you bother with this because, like I said, it's pretty easy to kill a war dog now when your opponent wants to. And you're just putting a big target of this is where the las cannons go on this for this one, because of course the las cannons will still take you up to the 5-up invuln through AOC. Yeah, so this I don't think you bother with this one, unfortunately. Yeah,
Also, this is definitely going to be the most expensive one of the bunch, and
exactly. Yeah, exactly.
you will never take it.
Nah, unfortunately, I don't believe you do. All right, what is the first of the strats?
Vox Howl.
Yes. Yes. Sorry. I need to tell you guys this is the worst stratagem in the book. Now you can go. Now you can go, Dickie.
It's 2 CP, guys. It's 2 CP. Start of the shooting phase, or the start of the fight phase. 1 Wargog character unit, so already you can't do it on everyone. Each enemy unit within 6 inch of your unit must take a battleshock test. You think, okay. And then each friendly Wargog unit that is within 6 inches of your unit and is battleshocked must take a leadership test. And if the test is passed, that unit is no longer battleshocked. So not really necessary, I would say.
This is god awful. So I was the same as you. First time I read this, I was like, okay, cool. Make everything within 6 take a battle shock, and then I bet if they fail, they can't shoot you. Oh, that'd be amazing for 2 CP. They have to shoot something else or fight something else. And no, you battle shock everything within 6, and then unbattle shock all of your own guys. Well, have the chance to unbattle shock for 2 CP your own guys. They still might fail. This is never heard of you. One of the worst things I've ever seen. This is terrible. All right.
And also the 2 CP is so weird. Like
At
for 2
1
CP,
CP,
I would
yes.
say point at something within 6. It's just battleshock now. Then I would be
100%.
like, yes, I would use it. Now I will never use it.
Never. All right. Hungry for Combat's up next for 1 CP. I think this one was previewed on Warhammer Community. So 2 or more war dogs from your army within engagement range of the same enemy unit. It's in the fight phase. You get critical 5. Select 1 enemy unit within engagement range of those war dogs until the end of the phase. Models in those war dog units can only target that enemy unit, but they get crit 5s. Now, I do need to tell you guys that carnivores come with sustained 1 on all their melee profiles. So they are this army's detachment ability agnostic. They are the marked for prey agnostics. So two carnivores, you can use your marked for prey sustain hits 1 to just target up your shooting targets, and then your carnivores already have sustained, so they don't need it at all. And then always, anything you charge with 2 carnivores, 1 CP, you can have crit 5 sustained, which is very good.
Yep. Yeah, amazing.
You need to pronounce this one, because if I say this one too fast, I'll get cancelled.
Gunning Hunter. It's a fullback shoot in charge. It's amazing. It's on 1 war dog. It's 1 CP. It's great. It's great. Like I cannot tell you how many times I've wished for one of these stratagems, and it's here now, and it's amazing. And every time somebody will have tagged up your brigand and be like, "No, you can't shoot into anything else anymore." I'm like, now I can. Boom.
Mm-hmm. All right, next one. Definitely the best stratagem in this detachment. Possibly this could be equal best or best stratagem in this book, and one of the best in the game. Straight up, this is one of the best 1 CP strats in the game. Animalistic
1
Rage.
CP.
1 CP. Your opponent's shooting phase or the fight phase just after a war dog model from your army is destroyed. That war dog unit, you can use this stratagem even though they were destroyed. Before resolving your unit's deadly demise, it can either shoot or fight. When doing so, it must target only the enemy unit that just destroyed it, and can do so even if that enemy unit only if that enemy unit is an eligible target. After it has done so and any consolidation moves have been resolved, then you roll your deadly demise. This is 1 CP auto fight on death, 1 CP auto shoot on death. And suffice to say, if the points go down enough for you to have like 15 war dogs in your army, you should be doing this 10 times a game.
Yeah, I agree. It's amazing. Note that you can get killed in the fight phase, but then still shoot back.
Correct.
If you're a brigand, you can use this to, like, maybe you moved up a brigand somewhere to shoot at a target, knowing that it will get killed the following turn, and then take out the unit that has shot it as well.
Yeah,
That's
every
so good.
brigand, every carnivore becomes a 1 CP 2-for-1. Like if
Yeah.
used correctly, and which is one of the reasons I think this will be one of the go-to detachments, if of course points withstanding, because I think this will become one of the supreme trading armies in the game, where you have 15 dogs, hopefully, fingers crossed, somewhere in the region of 15 dogs, and when like 7 of them get to kill something and then die and kill something, and does your army have does your opponent have 14 units in their army? Because that's how many you've average killed.
Yeah.
This is bonkers. It's an incredible strat. Incredible.
Yeah, honestly, it probably should get fact, because at the moment you can fight, consolidate into something, get killed, then fight again. It doesn't feel like you should be able to do that.
Yeah,
But
you shouldn't be able to. Yeah, you shouldn't be able to. I almost feel like you should just give it to him. let him have it for a little bit and see if it's like disgusting. But yeah, right now that's exactly what you can do. You can charge him with the carnivore, kill something, consolidate into something else, die, and then fight on death.
yeah,
Which
or
no one
just
else gets to do.
or charge Magnus. Know that you will probably not kill him, and then probably kill him.
Yeah, you're fighting twice.
When he kills you. Yeah.
Yep. Charge him, tank shock him, take 3 wounds off. You fight, take another 2d6 plus 2 off on average.
Yeah.
I think give or take an average to get another. So that's another 11 or so. So he's down to 3 wounds left, 4 wounds left, and then all you need is 1 to go through when you fight on death, right? And so,
Yeah.
I mean, you will be. So I will let you guys know. Every Wargog hits on threes now. There's no Wardogs that hit on 2s anymore. And when you fight, I'm assuming it'll be FAQ'd, even if it's not clear right now. They're going to be fighting at 1 wound left, as pseudo 1 wound left. So they'll be fighting. Yeah. They'll be hitting on 4s with the shooting or the fighting. But it doesn't matter, baby. Thermal spears and slaughter claws do not care. They will still smash you to bits. So yeah. This strat, I believe, is the whole detachment. Everything else is freaking gravy. This is up there with the fact that like Traitorous Lance in the index was literally the strat to go through walls and the rest was gravy. That's how I feel about this strat.
I agree. I think this is better than go through walls. Yeah, because as you said, it basically counts as having more models. So you'll probably have 13 to 15 models now, but you count as having 20. Basically.
Yep. What is the next one, dude?
Next one. Also so good.
Oh shit.
So remember when I said the previous one I did was the fallback and shoot and charge, right? And that's amazing. What else is one of those strats that you always really want?
Never had a reactive move in Knights.
Reactive move. So move within 9 of a Wargog. The Wargog gets a reactive move of up to 6 inches. No D6, just
D6.
straight 6. Just straight 6. So yeah, you move within 9 of me to charge one of my brigands, and I just move it back.
Incredible. That's
amazing.
Yeah, I'm such a fan. And then last one is Encircling Pack. It's 1 CP and your opponent's fight phase. 1 Wargog within 12 of a table edge goes back into strat reserve. I'm actually of the opinion you're probably not going to do that much.
No, but this is one of the ones where you will again be like, I could do this. So you probably want to screen.
So the only reason I'd probably do it is if I had like 3 brigands in reserve and I 1 CP wanted a 4th brigand in reserve and just 4 brigand demolish a flank. Just like freaking come on and just the bullets from hell. See ya.
That would be nice, but I can tell you that almost, at least WTC boards, there's just not enough room to place for even 2 brigands out of reserves to shoot at a single thing. So
yeah, totally agree. It's awkward, but that is the end of that detachment. And how do you feel about the package? Because you said at the start of the recording that you were a Wargog player. So how do you feel about the Wargog detachment?
It's very good. I really like it. I will definitely start playing this, Even though we're gonna discuss the rules of the big knights. There's one big knight I might be willing to include in this.
Yeah.
But the two announcements which you will take are very good. The stratagems are amazing. Yeah, I really like this. This is the way I would want to play.
So
Sure.
I'm kind of the opinion that right now, this, like playing with current points, this detachment isn't bad. I don't think it's good because I think there's some armies in the game that will table you in 2 turns, which isn't something that could happen before. But there are literally some armies that operate at strength 10 for all of their melee, especially, that will now just run straight through your army.
Agreed.
But this has this army right now with current rules has a godload of matchups it just loves. Like Eldari. What do Eldari even do when every brigand shoots on death? Oh, you're screwed. You're freaking dead. You're so dead.
Oh, great. Yeah.
Oh, no. Every fire dragon is 1 use only. Every single one.
Yeah, but if your fire dragons come near you, you just walk back.
Reactive move out of melter range. Oh,
Yeah.
delicious. Yeah, no. So I'm of the opinion that this detachment cannot be bad. Yeah.
I agree. So if the points stay the same as they are now, or maybe they'll get worse, we honestly have no clue.
No
then
idea.
This is probably honestly the only way to play the army.
Correct. Yeah.
Which
Because
we're not hoping for this, of course.
No, we're not. I want to play my tyrannical court. I really want to play that detachment. But yeah, you're absolutely right. This is the one that will survive if the points are bad. This is the one that will be viable if the points are bad. Because the fact of the matter is, in every other detachment, you can take a max of 3 of any Wargog. And I got to tell you right now, there's only I guess, and sorry, you have no character, you have no warlord, so you have to take allies to be a warlord, like a changeling or some nonsense like that, or a sloppity bile piper that's just going to sit on your home, or you have to take a big knight, and you're going to be forced to taking big knights, and that's where the crux is going to come. All right, let us smash our way through these data sheets. The vast majority, like I said, have not changed. In fact, so talking about the Knight Tyrant, 2 things that have changed. Sorry, of course, I've already told you, lost 2 inches of movement, went from movement 10 to movement 8. Ouch. Went from toughness 13 to toughness 12. Ouch. Went from 2-up save to a 3-up save. Ouch. 28 freaking wounds now, which is a lot. Still has
already. Didn't it already have that many wounds?
No, I thought there were 26. Oh, we'll look it up.
Doesn't matter.
Well, no, you look it up. You're the one who asked the question. Burden of truth is on you. Sorry, I'm doing it too. 24 previously. Yeah, they got 4 wounds. You made me think I was wrong. I was wrong, mate. How dare you? No, it's correct. I'm wrong.
First time for everything, right?
No, I'm wrong all the freaking time. Still gives Wargog models within 6 the benefits of cover. Now, of course, you can make that into a 9-inch aura of cover. And it has the infiltrator ability of, nothing deep striking within 12. The Volcano Lance has stayed the same, but. The Harpoon baby is now D3 shots. It's range 12, D3 shots. Strength 24, -6, 12 damage with dev wounds. So the D3 shots is actually kind of big.
Yeah, and blast. Yep.
Yep, D3 blast. It's actually kind of big. Hilariously cannot shoot the harpoon into combat. So the harpoon does not. This giant pronged.
I didn't think of that.
Freaking anchor. It's you're just swinging an anchor like a freight ship anchor, and can't hurt a grot. Can't hurt a Gretchen in combat. I will also let you know that the Plasma Exterminator, so the big plasma cannon, went up by 1 AP on both accounts. So it's now AP 3, not overcharged, and AP 4 when you do overcharge, which might be big. Might be good. But suffice to say, we're on points watch for the Knight Tyrant. It has to go down a lot. Like, it has to be around actually, this is a good thing for us to say, because we'll see how wrong we are. How many points would the Tyrant have to be for you to want to take it?
So the previous version of the Tyrant was already overcosted. It was slightly over 400, over 500, or just under.
It's
Don't even know.
went to 480 about 6 months ago. Went down to 480 and never saw play. Not playable.
Yeah, it should probably be around 420-ish.
Yeah, I'm somewhere between like 420 and 400. I mean, 400 if we're real lucky. 400, I think, would be quite takeable at 400.
These are the type of models you should just try. One balance patch, make them a little bit too cheap. Still a lot of models. They're awesome. Just have their time in the sun for once.
I do love that, like the Knight, like the Castella, the Knight Castella, Knight Tyrant. Literally, that chassis got like 1 year of 8th edition where it was bonkers good, and has never been takeable again.
Never, ever.
Although I do plan to take it in a Imperial Knights list very soon, so we'll see if I can trend set again. Knights Despoiler, apart from all the things going down, like we told you, the toughness and the wounds going up by 4 to 26, it is completely the same. Although it does actually, sorry, apologies. No, its aura did go better, so it does improve leadership by 1 within 9 inches, and also improves objective control by 1 within 9 inches. Not that I think that going from, because Wardogs are now 6 OC.
Yep.
I don't think a Warthog going from 6 to 7 OC is a breakpoint that exists. I think that's fake.
No, I agree. There's 2 use cases for this. First is obviously take it in the Infernal detachment, where you have to take the leadership tests.
Yep.
That's amazing. And doesn't this mean that if you are battle shocked, you will still have OC1, which means you will still be able to do stuff?
Correct. Oh, sorry. The rule says if you're battle shocked, you cannot do actions, but there are things you can do, like engage on fronts and things like that.
Okay, cool.
And of course, you still have the one reroll to hit or wound. And apart from that, all the outputs of all the ranged weapons and the melee stayed exactly the same.
It's so weird that you like the previous Eldar, right? You could do 1 hit, 1 wound, 1 reroll, or 1 damage, everything, and it was on 20 units. And this is 1 model.
Yep.
And it gets 1 reroll.
Yep.
not even on damage, where you would probably use it.
Exactly right. It's the worst. It's the worst version of that rule. Yeah, it's so stupid. Tell us about the A-bomb.
The A-bomb is almost the same. Let's see. The Volkite Combustor, so it's shooting weapon, got 3 more shots, run from 9 to 12. Otherwise, the same. So still dev wound, still strength 12, still 3 damage. So still sucks.
Yep.
And the melee weapons are the same, right?
Yes.
And special rules. At the start of your shooting phase, select 1 enemy unit within 12 and visible to this model. That unit must take a battle shock test.
That's now 24 inches range for the same ability, so we've got a buff.
Yeah, it is, but it's now visible. So that makes it a bit less. And I think you could do it on more than 1 enemy units earlier. But I don't want to look it up.
It does. Yeah, it was 1. No, it still was 1 enemy unit. It's literally the same. The previous one didn't need line of sight, but was only 12 inches. This one needs line of sight, but it's up to 24 inches.
Okay, then it's probably better.
I argue it's slightly better. Despite all the other profiles going down, funnily enough, I quite like the gun now. I quite like the gun a little bit better because suffice to say, like AP0 and AP1 are pretty much the same thing, unless you can have Ignore's cover, which is essentially AP2. 12 shots at strength 12. Is a good on odds to do 3 devs as well. Sorry, on odds to do 6 devs to roll 3 6s with 12 shots. You got more odds than not that you're going to get 8 to 9 hits, and then your 50-50 chance on the 9 dice to wound, you're going to get 2 6s, and actually just like kill 2 possessed and make them take a bunch of other 3-up saves. Like, I actually don't hate the gun anywhere near as much.
I mean, it's okay. It definitely got better, but it's still not something which you can bank on doing something. Like if you roll a lot of sixes, it will be amazing. But if you roll average or slightly below, then it will not be good.
Yeah, correct. I will say the Abominant is still one of my most depressive data sheets because it just doesn't do enough of anything. For its points, it's not good. Even it's only 380 points right now. Yeah, sorry, 365. It's only 365. Doesn't fight hard enough, doesn't shoot hard enough, doesn't disrupt your opponent hard enough, doesn't buff anything, and is not durable enough. It really frustrating because it's one of my favorite models in the entire game. And I want it to be better. But hey, if it gets cheap enough, if it's just like 300 points, hell yeah, windmill slam. Let's go. I don't care.
Yeah. Just to be clear, the pulse aura or the mortal pulse is still the same. So you roll 3 plus D3 mortal wounds. And one other thing I wanted to note is that if you are bracketed, you're bracketed below 10 wounds now, so 1 to 9, you also lose OC next to your the -1 to hit.
Yep. And that's the same for all the Questoris.
Also the small ones.
Knight Ruinator, the new big boy, who I do quite like. I wish he was better in combat. I cannot tell you why he is worse in combat than like a Despoiler with a freaking chainsword. I don't know why he's worse, but here he is. It's all the same. It's all the same data sheet, so all the same stat line as all the other Questoris Knights. It has the Acheron Flame Cannon, essentially, which is a Dark Flame Lance with Norse Cover Torrent, 18 inches, 2d6, strength 8, -1, 2 damage. Not a bad flamer at all. Then it has its chest missiles, which is the Terror Pulse missiles. This is quite good. 36-inch range, 2d6 blast. Strength 8, AP 2, 2 damage. This is a marine shredding machine of a profile. But both of those are just marine killing monstrosities. And then in combat, it has anti-monster, anti-vehicle 2+, 4 attacks only, which shits me. I wish I had, why doesn't it have 6 big swings? Or even 5? Why did you take away 2 attacks for this? At strength 14, AP 3, 6 damage. And then its sweep is only 10 sweeps. Strength 9, AP 2, 2 damage. So less quantity sweeps than a chainsword and less AP than the chainsword. So I don't know why they made him worse in combat. But tell me about the abilities, because the abilities are quite good.
Yeah. The first one is basically he picks an enemy unit and then he gets to reroll wounds against it. And once the unit is destroyed, doesn't specify by him, but just is destroyed, you get to pick a new enemy unit and they will be the victim of the disability. So he gets reroll wounds against something. So you need to be smart about it. You need to know what he will target, but everything he targets with this aura will probably die.
Yep, correct. More importantly, this second bit.
Oh yeah, this is why I love it, Adam.
Yes.
While friendly Wargog model is within 9 inches of this model, 9 inches. Each time that enemy unit, each time that Wargog model makes an attack that targets the enemy unit, improve the AP by 1.
Yeah, so it's the Brigand aura. So closest target, you get +1 AP against. And of course, that can be a 12-inch aura off a giant base. So you could easily have 6 Brigands. And this is the one big knight you and I were talking about, theoretically, if he's cheap enough, putting in the Wargog detachment. Because we'll get to the Brigands pretty shortly, but the Brigand data sheet ability has changed, and now it has ignores cover when shooting a target on an objective. And so you can give it +1 AP and ignores cover shooting against the closest target if they're on an objective. And it's actually quite a good combo. And it's very easy to get 6 Brigands within 12 inches of a knight base.
Yeah, so I agree.
Yeah, absolutely pops off.
Yeah, and he'll get to protect the Brigands when the enemy gets close to them. He can go through walls because he's a super heavy walker. He could really buff a Wargog army.
Yeah.
Once again, it comes down to points. If he costs 3 small Wardogs, I would not take him probably. But if he's 2 and a bit, then yes, I would.
100%. It's also noted that his aura works in combat as well, so he could have 6 carnivores getting extra AP as well. Because of course it's the fight phase. If it's the fight phase, of course you're fighting the closest enemy unit. So yeah, really good. And of course, like if you're playing against an army that has like, you know, Dante and 6 Sanguinary Guard, and they obviously the thing that wants to dive into your brigand, you know, pile, and you're just like, well, you're the victim, boy. If you want to come tangle, this guy's going to respond and pick you up because he's going to, you know, he's going to absolutely smack you. All right, Desecrator, to my great shame, unfreaking changed in any way apart from getting less durable like all the rest. This is just such a swing and a miss. This guy is the lost child essentially of the Chaos Knights, completely abandoned. The gun is trash. It's just a standard guy in melee. Give real ones to hit in an aura. Gets dev wounds on its ranged attacks against monsters or vehicles, which is with its 3 shots. Whoop-de freaking do. Yeah, really disappointing that they didn't do more with the.
It's D6 plus 3 damage, Adam. It's
oh boy. Nah, see you in hell, Desecrator.
Nope.
I wish you were somebody. But
yeah. And to be clear, it's ranged attacks get devastating wounds, so you don't get them in your melee attacks against monsters or vehicles.
Yep, very disappointing. They couldn't try. They couldn't at least try and do something spicy with him and the A-bomb.
Never,
because they actually tried with the Rampager. They took away the once per game advance and charge, and then gave it freaking devastating wounds on the charge. Yeah, you're gonna charge a Rogel Dawn once. You're gonna charge a Rogel Dawn and double 6 on the fist, and just throw that mother effer into the sun, and you're gonna be like, rampage. Yes. Tell us more about the Rampager. What else changed?
The usual stuff. So less durable, but more wounds. It got sustained 1 on all its melee attacks, all of them. So
still hits on 2s. Yeah.
Still hits on 2s. It's even the sweeps get sustained. This is pushed. This model is pushed to high heaven, and it's amazing.
So you have up to 18 sweeps at 932, hitting on 2s with sus1. That's 100% hits on average or better, with massive spike potential, with dev wounds. Like, wow.
Yeah.
Amazing. I love him.
The best. Yep.
Still has its aura of reroll ones to hit for war dogs in combat as well.
Yeah, good enough. I mean, in my experience, he's usually not anywhere near a Wargog, but it's good.
Yeah, he's always charging off in another direction. Right now, this guy costs 380. How cheap would he have to be for you?
I mean, I would always want him to be cheaper than he is now, but he's probably still good if he costs 400.
Wow, big call.
I mean, he's better than the spoiler. He's way better than the Desecrator.
Correct.
He's probably not better than a Ruinator, but he's like miles better than an Abominant. He's like a Rampager is better than a Tyrant, whilst the Tyrant is probably going to be like 100 points more all the time.
I would love to see him go like drop 50 to about 330. 330 would feel real good for a Rampager.
It would be amazing.
Because he represents like a unit of Terminators, you know? And so he should cost around about what a unit of like 10 good Terminators cost, which are like, I mean, I think a unit of Blight Lords is like 370. Yeah. And they shoot.
No,
and they fight.
I agree. As we started the podcast with, you need to have more models on the table with this new version of Chaos Knights than you have currently. Yeah. And if you don't, then the army will be just probably bad. So the Rampager should probably go down, but it's like the sheet in itself is still good. Like if this is the only one I could say maybe they can keep it on 380, and I would be slightly disappointed because I'm a power gamer, but I would understand it. Like it's good for its points.
All right, the Huntsman is up next. Tell us a story, mate. First of the War Dogs.
First of the War Dogs. It is. Let me just quickly find it. So all the War Dogs are T9 now. All the War Dogs have OC6. I think we mentioned it before, but it is a drop, but it's probably still good enough to take an objective from scouts. It is the Demon Breath Spear, the big melta, has changed slightly. It went from range 24 to range 18, which is actually pretty big because 24, I mean, not on the melta, but 24-inch range felt low on Gatling guns. So 18 is going to be real tough for me, at least.
Yeah, and you can't get melta range from reserve is pretty much what they did there. They stopped you from getting melta coming in from reserve. And it sucks real bad. I don't like that.
No, I don't like it either. It's not something that should have had to have changed. I would say. But the big thing is,
go.
Yeah, the big thing is it changed its special rule. It used to be you got to reroll wound rolls of 1 and damage rolls of 1 against monsters or vehicles. Now, each time this model makes an attack that targets a monster or vehicle unit, you just plain reroll the wound roll.
Rip it, reroll everything. I will let you guys know that every Wargog chassis is 14 wounds now as well. I think the Huntsman is excellent, by the way. I think the Huntsman is very good. Yeah, very good. The fact that it gets real wounds in combat as well. So, it's 10 attacks it's 4 attacks at 10-3-3 with rerolls to wound, means that it can actually threaten a Vindy or a Russ. Because I've had it before. I've put these guys into them and I've been very sad. And then the Vindy sits in combat and kills you in the shooting phase.
No, I agree. I always think that to really complement it, I know it's because these are the old armatures, but they really should be given the fists instead of the swords. That would have been amazing. But even though the Huntsman is great now, it's honestly good.
Yeah, I agree.
Probably should be cheaper still, but it's good.
Yeah, it's 140 now. I'd love to see it 120. Yeah, 120, 125 would be fantastic. The Wargog Executioner is still the worst one. It is the worst, knight in the game, in my opinion. Its guns didn't change, but its data sheet ability is god-awful. Each time this model makes an attack that targets a unit below strength, so a unit that's already dead, add 1 to the hit roll. Whoop-de-doo. Each time an enemy unit is destroyed as a result of this model's attacks before removing the last model of the unit from the battlefield, each unit from your opponent's army that is within 3 of it must take a battle shock test. So your opponent has all ability to kill casualties away from other units because it's only 3 inches. It's very easy to do.
3 inches is the worst.
It does not have a data sheet ability as far as I'm concerned. No. And there's no significant way to up its AP in this detachment, in this army, unlike Imperial Knights with Squire's Duty. It's the one that's dead to me, pretty much. It's the one that I think is untakeable. But suffice to say, though, happily, every other one is good. Tell us about the Brigand.
Brigand. So all the stats changed, which we previously said. Once again, I want to mention that the big melta is range 18 now. So it used to do that you got AP, an extra AP for targeting the closest enemy model per gun, and now it just gives you ignore cover when targeting enemy units which are within range of 1 or more objective markers. This is still great. In this edition, ignore cover is essentially AP1, so this is good. The stipend of having to be on an objective is, I would have preferred it just to be straight ignore cover, would have been better. But this is still good. You will still take 3 or 6 of these.
Yeah. Apart from hitting on 2s and the durability going down, I feel like the data sheet ability is kind of a side grade because a lot of great players were able to play around the AP against closest target by using the Havoc launchers against you and stuff like that and getting characters and nooks and crannies. So this is a little more proactive on your end and a little bit less ability for your opponent to mess with it.
That's one of the things that GW changed last, I think, half a year ago. It's now it used to, it was per gun for some reason. So
of course,
it worked a bit better, but it's still, it's a wash.
So
the main thing is not hitting on 2s.
Yeah. It's actually huge not hitting on 2s. The Stalker lost character, same stat line change as everything else. Same unit, weapon options as everybody else. The Chain Talon or the Slaughter Claw are still there too. Same data sheet ability in that each time this model makes an attack that targets an enemy unit, if there are no other units from your opponent's army within 6 of that target, +1 to wound. But it also got Scout 6, which is pretty freaking spicy. How do you feel about that, getting Scout on a dog?
Yeah, I think I mentioned it earlier. I used to say if I didn't have to take a stalker, I would never take one. Now I would probably take one. I wouldn't make it a character, but I would probably take one. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be very happy to take 1 or 2 in the Wargog detachment, because I'm of the opinion. So we'll talk about this a lot more in part 2, but I don't think you take 6 carnivores anymore. I definitely think you're taking 6 brigands still, but you might want to take some huntsmen or some stalkers instead of just windmill slam 6 carnivores. We'll talk about that more. Fair. Oh, perfect. We'll get a discussion. And the last one is the carnivore. Hits on 2s, unfortunately, but has sustained hits 1 on all its melee profiles. So weirdly enough,
it's on freeze. It's on freeze.
Yeah, correct. What did I say? Never mind. Suffice to say, the sustain hits 1 on a 3+ to hit is almost as good as hitting on 2s with spike potential, but makes you much more susceptible to minuses to hit, like much more susceptible. Data sheet ability still reroll advances and charges also. How do you feel about that?
I think it used to be just charge rolls, and now it's advanced and charge rolls, so that's automatically better.
You're tripping. It was always reroll advance and charge.
Really? Oh,
pretty sure.
Maybe I just.
No, you're right. You're right. I'm tripping. All right.
Cool.
I'm wrong.
Yeah, for some reason I cannot get over the Chain Talons get sustained ones on the sweeps as well. I don't know why I think that's so big, but it's probably just because it's more attacks, so more chances of rolling 6s, and it's easier to go through. Like the potential is there to go through hordes better.
Yes.
Yep. But it's just going to be. It always was fun rolling out the attacks of a carnivore, but now you're just gonna be so stoked every time you see a 6.
Yeah, exactly right, dude. And on the Slaughter Claw, when you get like you get like 5 3+ and a 6, and then you're like 6 out of 6, baby. You're gonna feel pretty good as well. You're gonna feel pretty dang good. But dude, that's actually the full cover-to-cover review of this codex. Now, you and I have hyped this up quite a lot, and the points might be a very cold bucket of water on our passion. Which we've been face up about that. We're doing this off the passion for this army because you and I both adore this army. And man, I think this army is going to be like, the points are either going to mean the whole spectrum is possible. If the points stay the same, this army might be dead on arrival. This army is going to get dramatically worse than where it is now. And yeah, that's all there is to it. If they get a little bit better, this army is going to be okay. If the points are really aggressive, this army can be very good, very good. Do you see it the same?
Yeah, I see it the same. But it's to be fair, like if the points are too low, then it will create a lot of feel bads for opponents.
Yeah.
Which means it will definitely not stay that way. So it's going to be very hard for them to balance this right.
All right. Time for us to do our rankings and ratings system, and of course, this is going to be with a big old like ladle of salt, not just a pinch, because no points means no context, and unfortunately, that's one of the most important things when reviewing this kind of a codex. So we're doing the best we can, guys. Please forgive us. And like we said, I waited till the absolute last window that I had to get this done before the NDA was up, and I could actually, I wanted to get on the front foot and get this released. Out of 10, how happy are you? No points, just how happy are you with the rules, the concepts, the strats, the enhancements, the structure of this codex?
Adam, for someone who volunteered himself to be on your podcast, I'm still surprised by this question. I've listened to all 254 of your episodes, and I'm for some reason still surprised. I wasn't prepared for this, but I'm still happy with this for some reason. I think it's the power has gone down, the potential power has gone down, but it's given us choice. That's fun. Yeah. There's new builds to explore, new stuff. A couple of really cool detachments. So for me, I would give it an 8. I would say, like it's
Yep.
definitely, it's not gonna bust the meta right open. It's not gonna win all the events straight away, but I'm happy with it. I'm giving it an 8.
Honestly, it has like 4 playable detachments. Four detachments legitimately worth testing. I do think of the bunch, the Infernal Lance is probably the worst. But even then, it's still pretty good. It's still worth doing. And it's a very rare occasion where every detachment in a book is kind of worth investigation and testing.
Yep.
So just based off that, I'm with you. I'm giving it an 8 out of 10.
Yep.
Yeah, I think this is actually a really well-structured book. It's flavorful. It's got a lot of nuance, a lot of bits and pieces, a lot of tricks, a lot of tools, and a lot of different ways to play, kind of the same, like freaking how many data sheets? 10 models? We don't have a lot to play with, but there's a lot of different ways to play them. And I think that means they've done a good job with this. So right now, it's going to be very hard. Let's just say, for the sake of this, you can make a... Let's say you get 150 points in your lists. Let's just say that. With these rules and another 150 points, how good do you think this codex can be? Like in the tier list, where do you think it can end up? Like from D tier up to A tier? And feel free to do singles and teams, because I think it's very different for Knights and always has been.
Oh, yeah. No, it's I think it's, if you get an extra 150 points, which means you'll get 14 dogs in a list, or
and all the enhancements, likely, yeah.
Yeah, or one big dude and probably 10 to 11 dogs. I would say upper B tier. It's
Yep, I tend to agree.
Yeah, upper B tier, I would say. Like you can win events with it. It's good, but it's gonna be a very hard army to play still. Like it looks very easy, but it's not forgiving at all.
So my issue is, I actually don't think that's enough. I think now that I'm thinking about it, if they only went down 150, I actually don't think that's enough to push to. I think they will nosedive and end up in like C tier if that was the case. Mostly because, well, previously there were very few armies that had consistently strong melee output into Chaos Knights. They had a couple of units that were quite good, and the rest were bad. And this is the reason everyone was like of the opinion the Worldiest matchup was horrific, because that was one of the only armies in the game where every model in their unit was a threat to every model in your unit. In the previous iteration, of course, and it's still the same. But now, like shit, every Astartes unit with Oath of Moment and +1 to wound is a big deal. Is a big problem, and like I mean everything. Like 20 shots from a unit of 5 intercessors is now a problem.
Yeah,
stuff like that. It's worrying, mate. It gives me pause. Gives me pause. So on that note, I think middle of B is around where I think they're going to settle. If the points are about an average, like of 150 to 200 points down.
It's just so weird, because if I'm wishlisting, I would say, of course, you would need around about 2 more dogs to make it very competitive. But we're never going to get that. So you're maybe one, and then you should probably be happy. But if it stays the same, or God forbid, it goes up for some models, then it's honestly trash tier. Yeah, it's going to be D tier. Yeah,
correct. All right. And on that lovely, hopeful note,
you call me when you want the positive vibes, right?
yeah, I do. Look, I'll say it once again, just to reiterate it. Dick and I, we had like literally 4 to 5 scheduled times we could record this. This is the last possible time we could have recorded this, and we don't have the points, so I do apologize for that. But hopefully this has been an enjoyable adventure regardless, because I have tried to bring the hype, because I'm really keen on this codex. I love the freaking rules, man. I love the rules so much, and I'm keen to play every detachment in it. But on that note, we are out of here. We're going to go over and record part 2. Hopefully you guys will join us there. We have a swathe of patron questions to answer. We're going to talk about our first press list concepts, and take it from there. So, Dick, VDH, say good night, mate.
Good night, everybody. See you soon.